Hello again, and welcome back to our midnight feature presentation. For it is always midnight somewhere. We are the Madwomen, represented by Dr. Luna Ludenberg, and something very important to mention is that, sorry, in our free time, we often like to design Magic the Gathering cards. We have a few cards in something called Hell's Cube. You might have seen our stream about that set. Not set, series of sets. Well, guess we played Hell's Cube 7, at least as far as we can remember. Anyways, today we're showing you something different. This is the beginning of a cube of our own design. We've been working on it for a good long while. It's still nowhere near finished, but a good long while. You probably saw in the thumbnail. Nonsense colors. Nonsense colors are is a term from Hell's Cube. It refers to colors that are not part of the normal magic color pie. Purple excluded. So, you see there are 5 colors in our little cube. There's pink, there's yellow, there's teal, there's orange, and there's brown, in that order. So, what we have here is Magic Set Editor. We're going to be designing cards just for a while, but first we want to introduce you to some of the designs we've already made. Some of which got accepted, some of which got rejected. But yes, sorry. We're just nervous because this is something that we haven't really put out into the open like this. Anyways, you'll see a very good bit of you'll see a lot of names. Some of this stuff is in the cube, some of them still a work in process, some of them got rejected. One of them was a joke card that yeah. that we just put in here just because. Oh, yes. Let us introduce you to each color. First is pink. Their basic lands are carnivals. They're all about fun, enjoyment, just having a good time, and and if they're being generous, letting others have a good time. You know, mechanically, they're more of a group hug sort of strategy. Because of this, we decided to make the cube a two-headed giant one. Yes, yes. Well, we're not the sole person who decided that, but we are the person who spearheaded it, and we're behind a lot of creative decisions, we suppose. And, well, it was our idea. So we feel like we're the most qualified person to represent it, at least. Also, we can stream. That's good. We can stream. Yes, yes, yes. Uh, we're gonna go in our equivalent to Blueberg order. So next up we have no, not you, not you, you. A Metropolis. Uh, in the earlier stages of design, these were called gas stations because a Hell's Cube card herd had the yellow lands be that. And that's what happened with the rest of these. It's why oranges are oasis, mudflats are brown, and carnivals are pink. We switched that up. Ha 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 ha. You can tell we didn't prepare all too much for this. Our last stream went so much better. Anyways, Metropolis represents yellow. Yellow represents energy, excitedness, uh, insanity, just extravagance, exaggeration, those sort of things. Just over the top, as it were. Yes, yes, yes. Next up we have an islet. Sorry? We have an islet here. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, oh, why is the basic land type an island? Because this isn't the final version. Here it is. Teal is the color of envy and spite. Just wanting what others have, being spiteful. It's a very convoluted color. It's like if Azorius was one color and somehow worse, and also very hateful. Just a color that hates. It can be used positively in the same way that most other colors can be used negatively and positively. But, it's hard to make those attributes positive. It's also why the artist isn't credited because we made this art, obviously. The art was just there for. It is from an actual Magic Gathering basic island. We think it's from Eldraine specifically, but we could be remembering that wrong. Yes. Let's see. Next we have an Oasis. Oasis. Not the band. Oases are sorry. Oases are orange. Orange is a color all about embracing the temporary, about embracing the now, living in the moment, appreciating what you have, because you never know when they go away. So mechanically, it's represented by a lot of effects like vanishing, fading, our own, or, well, not our own. That would be thanks to Martin, who created the mechanic of rot. We'll show you what rot is in a moment, but thank Martin for that mechanic, because it's instrumental to this one. We create a lot more of Yellow's mechanics. And finally, mud flats are brown. Brown is a very simple color. And what do we mean by a simple color? We mean there are no cards in brown, at least mono brown, that are more than 3 lines of rules text, aka wordy, as Unsets put them. As Unsets put it, wordy. No wordy spells here. No, no, no. that's that's Teal's job. That's Teal's job. Uh, we're gonna show you cards that got in, at least. So here's a crapshoot. This is one we made that got in. Uh, oh, thank you, Legend. Also, hi, Legend. Oh, yes. There we are. Sorry. Took us a second to load. Anyways, uh, here's the Oasis. Here's the Oasis. Yes, we know. We realize it. So we're reintroducing the Oasis. We already explained what orange does. And here are the mud flats. As you can imagine, not many people draw paintings of mud flats. So we just went with an actual photo of one. Same thing with the we think the same thing happened with the carnival. That's why it's credited to catchmyparty.com. Thank you, Legend. And not this one. Yeah. Crapshoot. Counter target spell. Its controller may roll 2d6. If they roll a 7 or an 11, they create 3 treasure tokens. Otherwise, they create one of those tokens. So there's a chance it's worse than offer you can't refuse. But there's a chance that it's much better. This hasn't gotten in, at least not yet. Chess piece typing can go away. This can be a golem, actually. So let's just change this up into a golem. If you're wondering what this is referencing, it's referencing this. It's referencing a fun little game when Penrose came. When Penrose played once. Yes. There we go. We were doing a lot better last stream because Well, we had more planned out, honestly. This is just a string to show off what's going on here. This is one that got actively rejected. We guess it was a bit too unset, at least for brown. Trample, provoke. Provoke is a big keyword in brown and in yellow. Provoke is just an underused keyword in general. Let's be honest here. And we also made something called Name Strike 3. What's his name? It gains double strike. So end the turn. That should probably be first strike. We thought it would get in either way, but yeah. Let's see. First strike. But you see what we mean about brown being a very simple color here. Sorry, we're nervous. We don't know why. Oh, here's something we're proud of. This one got in. It's yellow. Yellow has a lot of king in yellow imagery, because why not? We came up with a mechanic. Insane. Whenever an insane creature attacks, it deals damage equal to its power to another target creature it shares a controller with, chosen at random. And it has madness. Why use many word when few word do trick? Exactly. That's Brown's entire thing. This didn't get in, unfortunately. We guess it was too referencey. This one we haven't gotten in because when it comes to designing the cube, uh, when it comes to designing the cube, we're making it two-headed giant. That way we can get away with monocolored better as well, so we can better show off what each color represents in a different way. This isn't part of it, but it's just something funny we wanted to share. Minecraft creepypasta reference. Our system has seen it. I haven't. I know our system loves that though. We're pretty sure we started working on this before that. Yeah, we definitely did. Like, it was over half a year ago, at least. It was before our last hiatus, anyway, so. I think we've been working on this set for like a year, maybe? Probably less than that. Yes. Anyways. Uh, this was just a reference card we made. The reason it's in here is because, we tried to include the cube at first, but, you know, ultimately decided against it. It's a reference to this one song. It's a song by what's it? Tom Cardy. Yes, he flipped the bird at whoever upset him, and it took down actual people with guns. It's a fun song. We highly recommend it. This was just an experimental design we did. It uh yeah. Uh this was back when we were experimenting a bit, you know? Yeah. This is a bit too magic lore. We have our own original lore, an entire original plane called Derna. Yeah. Yeah. Here's the here's a fun one. A jolly good fellow, representing a little squinkly. A gremlin. When the center is create a cake token. Cake tokens are food artifacts with 2. Tap, sacrifice this artifact. Add pink, then gain 2 life. Hike link. It doesn't deal damage. Instead, each player makes cake tokens equal to the damage that would be dealt. We need to make more designs that are using pre-existing keywords, because our brain just gets filled with new keywords and the like. But yeah, this one managed to get in. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. Right. Loaded dice. We added this reminder text like today. So you always roll this as you always roll the result you want when rolling dice. You still only roll result that's possible on that die. You can't roll d6 and say you got 20. As is, there aren't enough dice. There's not enough dice rolling in the set in order to justify it. So, me personally, I would have sorcery conniving put +1 counters on them. The ones from Scoopy have +1 to each number on the card. Ooh, true. This is an instant, and there aren't any numbers on the card, unfortunately. But yeah, that that is probably a good idea for the future. This we modified. Uh, yeah. We love this art, by the way. So this one hasn't gotten in. We just changed it up today. Used to have made an original predefined token, but nah. Oh yeah, fair enough. Legend. Jolt to Wakefulness. This is one that got in that we're pretty happy with. Untap target tapped creature. If you paid the madness cost, put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. Otherwise, cantrip. And it has madness 0. This one hasn't gotten in yet, as you can tell. We're not even sure if it fits in. This is another experimental one. It's a lot, we think. This one also got in. Sigma hidden below. Oh, Hell's Cube has a card named Sigma's Touch. This card was derived from that, and we went, what if we made it serious? You even see in the flavor text here. This being a brown card, it's not very wordy and it's very simple. It has Undying and Persist and Death Touch. What Undying does is it returns to the battlefield when it dies, only if it has no counters on it, but it puts a +1/+1 counter on the creature that died. Persist is the same thing, but for -1/-1 counters. Those two counters uh, um, added together negates. It's him, the Sug. Yes. Yes. Sugma's touch is a these nuts joke. You know, we would say it, but that would be a little dysphoric for us. So it's just a 2/2 with that touch that can't die. It can be exiled though. If you're wondering why it's black, that's due to lore reasons. Uh, let's read the flavor text here. A common joke among the dwarves was whenever an outsider would ask what Sugma was, to respond with Sugma bowls or something akin to it. The dwarves loved this joke, as it was an easier way to dodge the question, as well as ignore the horrors they had created. Okay, so the current factions in our first nonsense color plane, there are 5 of them, one for each color. Uh, we conceptualized them, at least on a baseline, uh, and we based them both off of their color's identity as well as different kinds of spiritual belief. So pink is represented by those who just generally believe in the supernatural, or by those who have things like ancestor worship, and other religions that have supernatural beings that don't necessarily worship a god or anything like that. Yellow is pagan. There are many gods. It's in yellow. Uh, and the XP we have of the king in yellow is the main one, the head of the pantheon, meant to represent pagan beliefs. Uh, Teal's faction represents monotheistic religions, namely the Abrahamic faiths. We can't think of another monotheistic religion, actually. Uh, let's see. Uh, Orange represents East Eastern beliefs like Buddhism and the like. I can't think. Come on, think. Yeah, pink also has Shintoism fall under it. Just a lot of. They're all a general mismatch. Right? But yeah, Orange faction represents Buddhism and other religions that feel more like philosophies than just standard religions. Things like that, because Buddhism, you can think. Pastafarianism is monotheistic. Well, it's a parody of Christianity. So, so yeah, it's gonna reflect what it's parodying. The Teal faction is meant to be a bit of a parody of monotheistic religion, specifically Catholicism and the like. And finally, brown is meant to represent atheistic belief. A belief in no gods, which, you know, in a fantasy setting, that's a bit like being a flat earther. So, yeah, there's that. Uh, why are we so much more awkward? Because we did not mentally prepare ourselves well enough. We're getting more into the groove of it, though. Brown, the brown faction is full of dwarves. There's the pink faction is more of a circus. Yellow is a theatrical troupe because King Yellow. Uh, uh, like we said, of Teal is a parody of Catholicism and uses a lot of chess motifs. And um, Orange is evil monks that reanimate the dead. And that's why you see black mana here, actually. Black mana is sort of meant to be like a fancy colorless. And it's where rot comes in. So let's show you Sand Favored Corpse, which is one we're pretty proud of. Rot 3. Uh, again, rot is not our mechanic. That would be the mechanic thought up by Mar10. They didn't demand credit or anything like that. We just would feel wrong not giving him credit for that. Actually, what are their pronouns again? Damn it. I'll be heading out to bed now, but I'll be watching the VOD during breakfast tomorrow. Okay, very good. Very, very, very good. Okay. See ya. But anyways, uh, so rot is essentially like vanishing. It enters with 3 time counters at the beginning of your upkeep. Remove a time counter from this creature. When the last time counter is removed, unlike vanishing, it doesn't get sacrificed. Instead, it turns into a swamp. No, no other types or abilities. It just becomes a swamp. When it becomes a land, but when this creature becomes a land, it becomes an oasis in addition to its other types. Because black mana is only useful as a fancier colorless. You know, yeah. We think the original flavor Martin had for it was an orange being rotted, like a food being rotted. Here we made it into where black mana is a corrupting force. Don't worry, all the colors will get their timed spotlight if we ever get these off the ground. If we ever get our cube off the ground, there will be more cubes with the same colors. And each color will have its turn to be evil. But yes, black is meant to be a corrupting force, which is why Sigma exists here. A dwarf horror. Oh yeah, brown faction are just atheistic dwarves. They're dwarves, you know? Here's some other designs. This one also got in. Exile all non-basic swamps, then return them to the battlefield under your control. If they don't have rot, they gain rot. For each permanent that gained rot this way, put 3 time counters on it. We also have Drunken Master. We conceptualized this playing on there being more blitz cards. There aren't that many yet. We should probably make some. Information overload hasn't been accepted. Uh, the way cards get accepted into um into the cube is by popular vote, and we're definitely not the only person who's making cards for it. We're just we're just like the person who started this and adding a lot of things to it. Uh, here's Dao Ping, Polar Strings. We saw this little art of a zombie monk boy. And we went, that's so sad and kind of tragic. Uh, let's make a card. So here you can see here you can see a bit of the um sorry, brain. Here you can see a bit of the two-headed giant design space being shown. So you see target player can do it. This way can help. Originally, I was supposed to partner with the little happy monk, which, as you may notice, is the statue on his back. This hasn't gotten in. The happy monk hasn't gotten in. Dao Ping has. We still want to try and get the happy monk in. We just changed it today, and yeah, it's a lot. Uh, the lore with Dao Ping is that they're the leader. They're the former leader of the Orange faction, and now they're being treated as a sort of despot. So they've hired a person from the Yellow faction to help them get through it. Like help them regain their power and control, and to stop up the corruptive mana from another world from screwing everything up. Here's one that got accepted. We used the arts for Holy Diver for this one. We don't know why it's not saved here. But, who cares? Destroy target religious creature. Clerics, monks, shamans, and mystics are religious. Bishops count as clerics. We think bishops got removed at some point in the design process, so let's just remove that. But yes, this got in, actually. And then mud flats is the land type, and this is just land cycling. If you can't see it, it ain't there. This one didn't get in, but it would be a reprint of Solemn Simulacrum. An old and decaying machine from another time, another era. Yes. Is this card supposed to be a common? It seems like it would be a common. Then again, it does a lot when it enters and leaves. This is another one that got in. Weigh your options was a fun one. Deal 4 damage to target creature. Weigh your options. Choose Death Touch, Trample, or Lifelink. This spell gains that keyword. So it's a very versatile little spell. Hmm. So, yeah. The thing about Brown is that it can do a lot of things. Just, it can't do anything too wordy. It has to be 3 lines or less. New Beginnings managed to get in. Whenever a triggered ability causes you to sacrifice a creature, or a creature you control loses one or more of its types, discover X, where X is that permanent's mana value. So, reincarnation and that sort of thing. Even death is less reliable than change, and we stand by that. We're not. Orange Man isn't really something I identify too much, but we like that line. Reincarnate is another fun one we've done. Same idea. Creature dies this turn. Exile it, then discover X, where X is that creature's mana value. Discover is from Caverns of Ixalan. It was meant to be fixed Cascade, but it wasn't really. If anything, it was more broken. That does not end, my friend. In the same way, birth is not a beginning. Again, we stand by that. We stand by a lot of Buddhist principles. This one didn't get in. Pink is meant to have a lot of uncard style effects like this. Well, not like this. But it didn't get in, sadly. Though we like it. This one hasn't gotten in yet either. And yes, we made little scrunklies. We just thought it was cute. And we saw these two who around from on Tumblr. And decided to make little cards with them. Uh sorry, brain. This one managed to get in. It's a mana dork that allows lands to make food tokens. That's fun. Showstopper also got in. Flash split second. When this creature enters, end the turn. If the player or team whose turn it is isn't you or on your team, the players whose turn it is may draw X card, hurts, and gain X life, where X is twice the number of spells on the stack. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. So it gives your opponent a benefit. We removed this keyword for her the final version because apparently it makes people cringe when you see keywords that will likely never be seen again. Which makes sense, but this still managed to get in. We're still very happy with it. Okay. And yes, insane is still a keyword we're proud of. Yes, yes. Sorry, our brain is trying to sort of function a bit. We're just chugging along, you know? Oh, it didn't go down. We thought it was just taking a while to load. This one isn't our design. It was designed by a person who didn't have MSC and thus couldn't make a card in the program, so we made it for them. Uh, who was it? Who asked us to do it again? Hold on, we gotta look. Oh wait, we can just look up. Oh, on the Discord. Alright, we can use the mouse instead of the trackpad. Oh yeah, this was Mar 10 again. Yes. It's meant to be a reference to, the other root walls in Magic the Gathering. That also cost 0 when you discard them. Mm-hmm. This was a small little design meant to show the double-edged sword nature of yellow. Huge benefits for a price. Uh, when it comes to black mana, the when it comes to black sort of greatness at any cost versus yellow's equivalent to that, black is more like you're willing to give away heed the life in order to receive the benefit. Yellow is more like you're getting the benefit, but there's a side effect. But you can also give it to your opponent, but they get the benefit. Yeah. This one managed to get in. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a pawn. A creature with total power or toughness 4 or less. When this enters, choose one. Remove up to 5 counters from target permanent. Put a trample counter on this creature. We think pawn mechanics are going to be a bigger thing when we really get into the weeds of it. We're going to try to lean into the keywords that have already been made or rather than introduce new things. Thankfully, orange is a very good one. There's a cycle of planeswalkers. We've made 2 of them, a teal one and a pink one. Did we make a third one? No, we don't think we did. No, we didn't. Yes. We just saw this art and we went, oh, we have to make a character out of you. So meet Lunara, patient schemer. We don't have any lore for her yet. She's just cool. You can plus 2 her for some 2/2 birds that are mana rocks. We had them add orange mostly just for flavor. The way we're hoping the cube will be designed, at least the first one, is that players won't want to run multiple colors. Like just focus on one so that we can really get a feel for what each of these colors do and what makes them different from the regular color pie. Uh, Return target creature to its controller's hand. That's a devious little line we added in. Uh, and the ultimate is each opponent reveals their hand. Put each creature card from it under your team's control. You choose which teammate controls what. See? Two-headed giant cube. Yeah. That second that ministry ability is meant to work with it sort of death effects. The only one that has one though is pink, which makes it a sort of support card. This is an idea we had. We decided it took us a while to come up with the names, but today we came up with the name for the type here, quid pro quo. And then keyword collude. This is just a sort of showing what happens card. Uh, proliferate, proliferate, proliferate. Draw a card. Probably not the best one. Mave, silent chaos. We're trying our best to get this one off the ground. The key to not getting noticed, making sure everyone else is louder. Much less than its power to creature. Goaded. We like this design. It also has provoke. Again, very good yellow keyword as well as a brown one. Just provoke does not get used enough. A sacrifice play. This was playing around with the idea of a pawn. I create a soldier creature token that's a pawn with at the beginning of each end step, sacrifice the token. A pawn has total power toughness equal to 4 or less. The idea is that when you create a token that is a pawn, it can be any combination of power toughness 4 that you want. Probably a bad idea to make a 4/0, but you could. So you can make a 2/2, an 0/4, or a 3/1. We got them right where we want them, Captain. Captain? Francis, last words. This one we never figured out flavor for. Energy, obviously, is a big part of yellow. Uh, it doesn't show here because other players have come up with cards for that. You lose 1 life for each energy counter you have. At the beginning. A cumulative upkeep that gives you a bunch of energy. The downside here means you have to spend a click. This one managed to get in. It's meant to be just a cute little common creature. It has flash, it can't block, it's a 2-1, but when it enters, here's you remove an attacking creature from combat, and tap it, put a stun counter on it. You know, get it? It's tripping. Twisted Growth, Flash, enchant creature your team controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +5/+4. Enchant creature, vanishing 1. Enchant creature gets +3/+3. These are two variations on the same general idea. We're not sure which we like better, honestly. This one managed to get in despite the art, which we made ourselves. Uh, the hands could definitely use work, but otherwise, we kind of like how this turned out. Ah, flavor text got messed up. That happens. The tool salesman smiles so wide he can see the gemstones that replace some of his teeth, each expertly mined. He has never touched a pickaxe in his life. Oh, whoops. Uh, yeah, we guess Munger is a creature type. We are happy with the flavor text there. Just showing off the nature of it. And the reason he's not too ill is that he's mostly just doing this for his own fun and pleasure. Here's the other planeswalker we made, the float! Made by Augusta Balloons. This one's unique because it has 2 plus abilities. One which gives your opponent a benefit. The other also gives your opponent a benefit because that's pink. But it benefits you more. And then the ultimate target player creates a 10/10 pink balloon spider creature token with flying and haste. So you can give this to your teammate if you want, if they have something that gives their creatures a boon. So you have to watch this one. Because while yes, it can get to its ultimate in just 3 turns, uh, it does result in giving your opponents benefits. Again, pink is meant to be more of a support card, and it's definitely also meant to be group hug. You know, basically just don't worry, you get a big benefit, but as a consequence, your opponent also gets a big benefit. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Application froze. Please stand by. Okay, good. This one, this is just one we've been wanting to make. Back when we tried to insert nonsense colors whenever we could into Hell's Cube, a deed that succeeded exactly once, and it was because there was a candy corn joke attached. Let's see. Discard a card, target creature goes insane, draw a card, and exhaust. Hmm. Uh, and if you'll notice, that creature is not insane until end of turn. But it's also not goaded. So, have any color. Discard a card and add colorless. They don't lose that mana as steps and phases end until their next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, discard effects are also pretty good in yellow. We're not sure if this one's in or not. We're going to bet it's not. This one definitely didn't get in, but it was designed for the potential for a potential other plane and just to sort of show off the potential of dual colors. Hello, hello, Matthias. Matthias? All right, Matthias. Never seen your actual name before, huh? We know them primarily as Pixel Ferret, as you might. Welcome. We're just showing off a lot of the cards here, first and foremost. This one what has a bit of a design mistake attached, but oh, were we not supposed to say that? It's your username. Sorry. Hold on. Wait, we're sorry. Sorry, we saw them delete their message in real time. Okay, hold on. We gotta check with them to make sure they're alright on Discord. Hey, we didn't say anything. Sorry. Really? Yeah, sorry about that. Uh, so we just had a huge rush of just, oh shit, you know? Okay. We just saw, we just saw them delete, delete their comment like immediately. God, we're sure you're listening in. Oh, we just want to say we are so sorry. Oh, okay. You just went to the wrong account. Okay. You had the same profile pic, so we thought it was okay. You know what? It gives us an extra view. Why not? We'll take an extra view. But yes, anyways, we were just explaining. Uh, we were just explaining a lot of our designs, including some ones we have that are still a work in progress. Like we're gonna show you off Speak with a Spy, which we finally decided the subtype for, Quid Pro Quo, which is one subtype which we should probably represent using hyphens, actually. Yeah, sorry, our computer's a bit slow. It's a bit old. But it works like a charm still. Yeah. Energizing Zealot. Oh, sorry. Energizing Zealot, fun fact, uh, was a design mistake. Yeah, it's a bit of a design mistake because we forgot to add until end of turn. Overcharge is basically just better go because it just happens forever. It doesn't matter as much in two player. It doesn't matter as much in two player, but what's the purpose of that distinction? Uh, the reason we did overcharge is so that it could is so that it doesn't attack a team, you know? because forces goading forces you to attack a player, but it's your opponent. Players can attack their teammates is the main reason. It's so that we could have creatures. Yeah. Oh, quid pro quo. Uh, it basically means it basically means you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And we just decided to add hyphens to it so that it's one word for a single subtype rather than a multi-worded herded creature type like Time Lord. Yeah, Time Lord is a creature type, isn't it? We do love the Doctor Who sets, but Universes Beyond does wild things, and it shouldn't go in standard. Ooh, old lady yelling at clouds. This was another one. It wasn't originally a pink design, but they managed to get in regardless. Mm. Oh, you understand what it means. Sorry, we are an over explainer. Uh, we're trying to think of what the question might be. Uh, oh, the purpose mechanically is for collude. When you cast a spell, another target player may cast a spell that shares a subtype with this one. The idea is there would be a bunch of quid pro quo cards. You understand? So the subtype is just to make sure that it's not just any spell. It's only spells that are designed to work with it, the, the spell here. Granted, we need a lot more, which is why this is still in the drafts and not submitted, we don't think. Yeah. Uh, Tolarian Community College quote. Did you read the card? Sorry, that's rude. We are so sorry. this is a this is a bad first impression. Okay. Let's see here. Mm. Strip of privilege is one that got accepted in, which removes all counters from players and permanents, which really screws over orange, because knows to change collude or how it worked in the first place. Yeah, fair enough. uh, Flub the Act didn't manage to get in because it didn't feel on flavor to a lot of people. It didn't feel like pink, namely. Uh, yeah, this was the best we could find for circus accents for the arts, anyways, which is from Wacky Packages. This is one that I managed to get in. A nice little common card. We designed it with the idea that this was meant to be powerful and popper. So, when you sacrifice an artifact, this gets frenzy 1 until end of turn. Yeah. Good old strip of privilege. Yep. Intense Ringleader. Intense Ringleader has a mechanic we always wanted to make into an actual design, and we've done it a few times. Songs. Songs are basically just reverse adventures. The idea was we just wanted to see how we could do musical numbers, musical numbers in magic cards, and we settled for a song. Uh, and yes, Pink does get attractions. Uh, Pink does get attractions. There aren't enough cards that interact with contraptions as of yet, but this card is meant to be that, so there we go. Also, apparently, this art is from Bendy and the Ink Machine AU for some reason. We don't know, but yes. This is meant to be just a fun little card. Yeah. Let's see. Snake oil salesman. We forget what this one was. Whoop. I love pink. It's so fun. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. We agree. We agree. Pink is a fun one. Snake oil salesman. We think this one managed to get in too. Whenever it attacks for each creature other than you may put a +1/+1 counter on target creature that player controls. For each creature your opponents control that gain the counter display, you create a treasure token. Then you can pay 3 and a teal. This creature gains protection from modified creatures until end of turn. Declare activate only before attackers are declared. Yeah. The idea is he's gonna sell you a genuine bona fide hey da 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 monorail. But it doesn't work as long as he's around. Why did we choose that art? I don't know. Being a system's weird. You don't remember decisions you've made because you didn't make them. You can't make. You can't remember decisions y'all made. We should say. Uh. Yeah. Sorry. Again, this thing's chugging along. I think songs could definitely be reworked in some way that made it more distinct from exhaust. True, we think the main distinction is that, they count as sorcery spells and the like. And of course, there's also flavor, you know? Rather than exerting everything, you have your big My Little Pony style heart song, Broadway theater style song. Mm. Uh, these are some of our latest ones. Concerted is a fun one. Uh, let's see. This is one we've been working on that we're still thinking of the flavor on. Actually, hold on. A short little intermission because we need to have an idle meeting. That's how you're supposed to word it. Hold on. Give us a second. We'll be right back. It'll be less than a minute. Idle meeting over. That was a very important meeting. Ah, very important. Sorry. Yes. Still don't know the. Still don't know how to flavor this one. But one thing that we've thought about recently is the fact that yellow has a lot of designations, so we think interacting with those it would be part of what makes yellow unique, you know? Hmm. For each different designation among creatures on the battlefield, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card until the end of your next turn. And it also suspects a thing, so you get at least one. If you don't know what suspect is, it means that the creature has menace but can't block. We've already discussed both insane and overcharged. Though there is another ability that we're not sure if it got accepted into any card or not, but it's extravagant. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, it deals damage to each other player as well. Well, that's more of a keyword, we think. At least how we put it here. This is meant to show off a bit of Yellow's game plan. Let's see. Now, we're gonna try and make a new card or two, maybe three. Alright. Oh wait, we did design a card, didn't we? One of our alters did. Uh, let us see through earlier. Okay. Okay. The bots we use to hold votes right now is down, so. There was one we made, wasn't there? Let's see. We're just trying to. I feel like. Okay, I feel like teal could definitely be the primary or secondary color for designations given its ego incarnate. Yeah. We think that's also good. We think teal can have designations. But we think yellow, if anything. It's like a secondary in the pie. You know? Okay, so here's one. Here's one. It's meant to show what teal is all about. Called gentle to being things just feels on flavor. Let's see. Should this be an instant or a sorcery? Remove the quotation marks. Draw a card. Look at the top two cards of your library. Put one of them in any position within the library, then choose another player. Without looking at it, that player may put the remaining card at any position in your library. It's a lot better. It's a lot better in Two-Headed Giant, where you have at least one person guaranteed to be on your side. And it's meant to show off what Teal is all about, being way too convoluted. What was that noise? How much does Brainstorm cost? 1 mana. It costs 1 mana, and this is meant to be a bit of a parody of Brainstorm for the viewers at home. Pixel Ferret, we should mention, does also do a lot of good work for for the Nonsense Color Cube, including a lot of work on the lore and getting an entire wiki out. Actually, could you link the wiki? Could you link the wiki in the chat and we'll pin it? Sorcery or instant? We'll do a sorcery for now. See if that gets in. Probably an instant? Okay, instant. Alright. Maybe. Well, if you're not sure, we're not sure. We'll go instant. Why not? What's the harm in making an instant? Hmm. Actually, we can find the wiki, can't we? Hmm. Actually, Pixel, just link whatever you want. Just link whatever you want. Sorry, we got distracted by something. Uh, let's see. Brain work. Brain, brain, please work. Then maybe it was about the link, sorry. No worries. uh, yeah. Method gymnastics as an instance. Doesn't seem like it's broken or anything. Here's one we tried to make. It didn't manage to make it in. Floaty birds, flying and fragile. Oh, gymnastics is pretty good. We must have been very proud of ourselves when we came up with the name, because we saw the alter fronted lass just being very excited through text that they came up with the term mental gymnastics. So, well, not the actual term, obviously. We mean like the name of the car. Forget it. Okay. Man it. That player, we put the ring card at any position in your library. Hmm. Less is more. Well, of course I'm right. Oh, we should remove that comma. Come on. Again, less is more. What's the flavor for this one? It's like brainstorm mixed with fact or fiction. In a way, yeah. It is, in a way, actually, yeah. Even the name is a mix between fact or fiction and brainstorm. Hmm. What what should be the flavor for this one? We like the design, but we're struggling on how we can flavor it to be. Hold on a moment. We're missing a card. Did we delete it by accident or something? Hmm. Well, there's a card we made that got accepted in that exaggerated a creature. We should probably work on more of the keywords we've actually made. We already got quite a few cards that are good with insane. Need some other words that work. It's hard to describe what designations are, but yeah. Let's see. There are a lot of fun ones that we've made and other people have made. Maybe some other stream will show off like the ones other people have made if those people are fine with it. But yeah. We're excited for when this finally gets off the ground and we can actually like play a game of two-headed giant draft with it like a battle bond sort of thing. Let's see. Yeah. Energy is a big thing in yellow. Uh, quite a few. What's one that? What was this one again? Ah, yes, the cumulative upkeep with energy. Hmm. Let's see. Strip of privilege. Sorry, brain. We're gonna look through the list of cards, see a mechanic that he might want to do a card design for. I have a bit of a concern with the amount of random choice effect involved in yellow, but I'm not really sure what to do about it. Random choice. It would be you gain. Ah, we see. Thank you. Thank you for that. But yeah, I didn't even notice that much randomness in yellow. We should probably work on more attraction cards for pink. Hmm. Let's see. Here's one. Here's a keyword that was thought up by, we believe it was Noel who came up with it. Our friend Noel. Uh, Isolation. Whenever this creature attacks, you may reveal your hand. If there are no lands among the revealed cards, untap this creature. It can't be blocked this turn. Teal has a lot of involves random targets basically every turn. That's true. Hmm. That's true. That's true. But it's more of a disbenefit to your opponent. Well, not being too powerful. Mm, because it deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. It shares a controller with chosen at random. Yeah. And insane is a pretty common keyword in yellow. It's one it's one of the it's one of the key mechanics, at least this set. And insane does randomly target. We can't think of any other random target yellow effects off the top of our head. Insane is the only one, though it is a pretty common keyword. But we can't think of anything that had like deals damage to a creature at random. No, that one is an all-rounder. Let's see if we can make a blue card with isolation, actually. Not blue, teal. 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 We say blue because in MSC we had to replace blue. We had to make a new version of Magic Set Editors just so we can include teal. So it would have to be a creature. Isolation. Uh, one. Noel made a lot of cards. Props to them for that. Uh, one thing we especially like that they did was uh they gave teal a sort of ability word called drought, which gives you a benefit if you missed your land drop. And that's fun. Random target slows down the game much in the same way that shuffling the library does. True. Mm, true, true. That's true. We think it can be as simple as a die roll is the counterpoint we can make, but sometimes that that number is not available on a die. Like if there's only 3 creatures, there's not really a 3-sided die. Well, you could actually do a 3-sided die. You could just divide a d6 by 2. 5-sided die is pretty difficult. Probably a d6, but if it lands on a 6, you re-roll. It does slow down the game a little bit now that you mention it. We can't think of any other like yellow random effects, which is unfortunate because I actually love these mechanics. Well, thank you. We do enjoy a good bit of randomness ourselves. Ooh, we could make a pink card with cheer. Cheer is you may cast this spell for its cheer cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent gained life this turn. Yeah, let's work on that too. First, let's make sure we've actually written down the reminder text for isolation, at least for the viewers at home. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's more of a problem when someone has 7, 9, or 1,145 creatures. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we get you. Anyways, let's see. We guess this program running while streaming is what's causing it to be so slow. Whenever this creature attacks, you may reveal your hand. Is that the wording? You may reveal your hand. Idea card would gift 3 life. Hmm, not bad, not bad. I think we'll use that idea actually. It's definitely a pink card. This creature attacks, you may reveal your hand. If there are no lands among the revealed cards, untap this creature. It can't be blocked this turn. That way it feels more like a keyword rather than a random one-off ability. We'll make it a fish too. Should I make the reminder text for isolation so you can add to your MC? We copied it verbatim him already, but thank you. Sorry, there's a stream delay. There is a huge stream delay. So we should have told you this before. Before there is a pretty big stream delay, but it is a good idea to put it into uh MC keywords. The keywords tab. There is a tab called keywords, and we completely glossed over it. That's the one. That's the one. If you're wondering about the set symbol, it's the purple set symbol. New keyword. Isolation. There we go. And done. Just to be clear, we did oh, we forgot to say matches isolation. Oh, we forgot to we forgot to remove the parentheses. Damn it. This keeps happening. Whenever this creature attacks, you may reveal your hand. If there are no lands among the revealed cards, untap this creature. It can't be blocked this turn. Actually, instead of a fish, it's a bitter merfolk. Spiteful Siren. The Lost Seas are such an interesting setting to work with. I look forward to messing around with them once War Tone is done, given that may take a while. Right, because that's not for Caldera. It's for a new setting you're making, which we'll reveal at some other date because we want to finish our plates before we move on to the next meal, honestly. But here's a little something we were making for that plane then. Spiteful Siren. It actually is on Caldera, I think. Oh, nice. Oh, War Torn is the name of the set. That's right. Thank you. Oh, OBS disconnected for a second. Uh, hmm. We might not have decided what planet it's on. The Lost Seas. We need to read into the wiki and the lore and everything. Hmm. We do think this is a fun keyword. Isolation. Let's see. We're gonna get this stuck in our brain. Let's make it an uncommon, since isolation is already on a common. Hmm. Your control. If you didn't. Your control. So, on your last turn, counter on this creature. How's this look? We know it's gonna take a while before we get an actual response, but I think this is fine. No, wait, more flavorful. More flavorful. No, is provoke a teal keyword? We're not sure if provoke is a teal keyword. For those of you who haven't heard that keyword, it's pretty obscure. But it's used a lot in the Nonsense Cube, where when it attacks, you can untap a creature. I feel like I must have brought this up, but is your cursor a VTuber? Ah, yes, this is Rin Penrose. Yes, Rin Penrose. Rin Penrose's video on what was it called? Troll chess, something like that. Her video on that game did inspire a lot of teal, including the fact that the Caldera faction is chess themed. During your last turn. Thank you. During. Yes. Like the power and toughness. We just add a little bit of flavor text, like so. The beautiful voice that killed 1,000 sailors. Damn it, we made it too long. Damn it, we cooked too hard. Come on. Maybe if we return. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. Let. Less is more. Words. This word, this effect is kind of hard to word. If you didn't turn during your last turn, to a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Yeah, it is a bit difficult. Hmm. Whenever a land enters your control, if you didn't have a land enter under your control during your last turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Hmm. We'll go back to that another time because we're not sure about the +1/+1 counter. We think 8 gain provoke until end of turn might work. Like, it feels a little bit out of pie for it, but at the same time, it's on flavor and it has a pretty hefty cost of not playing a land on your last turn. Honestly, if no lands, if no, oh, if no land entered. What do you think the last section should be? We think we're gonna put down the provoke text. We think provoke is a common enough keyword in our sets where we don't need the reminder text for it. The voice that killed 1,000 sailors. Sometimes we think we do actually make really good flavor text. Provoke makes sense. Good, good, good. It's not normally a teal keyword, we feel, but we think it works for this. Like this a full on 3/3 actually. Yeah, requires a lot of setup. Exactly, exactly. On flavor, and it requires a lot. It is a very good keyword. And is at most every other turn. Yes. It also requires you to not play lands. You know, one of the most important parts of Magic the Gathering. That's what intrigues us about this archetype for teal so much. that that's what intrigues us so much about this archetype. Just completely subverting uh something something for it's just so good in terms of flavor. It's like subverting a fundamental part of Magic just to get it one up on your opponent. Feels very teal. Anyways, let's come up with a teal spell. Not a teal spell, a pink spell with cheer. All right, where's that spell? Where is it? Where is it? I think it might have been earlier, actually. Actually, later. That's what I meant. Like later, lower down the list. Well, it's not. Okay. We also already have a full cycle of saga creatures, not made by us, but you know, not saga creatures actually. They're class creatures inspired by the Final Fantasy saga creatures, but they're classes that you upgrade, and they're very neat. We had no hope parts in their creation, so there it is. Okay. Not sure why it's saying 0. Keyword is cheer. It matches cheer. We should save the set. Reminder text. Let's see. Nope, the wrong thing. We did not mean to click on video player. Nope, shut up. Here cost. If an opponent gained the light this turn, right? This turn. Just making sure that's how it's worded. Rather than its mana cost if an opponent gained life this turn. Yep, perfect. Let's see here. Missing cost. There we go. Hmm. Hmm. I don't think you need the rather part. We know, but that's how it is in the join the circus spell. That's how it's worded on that other spell, so it's for consistency's sake, not a decision on our part. Makes sense, makes sense. Are we doing something different here? Hold on. We need to. Yep, that's what we thought. Okay. How do we add a cost? Okay. Okay. We don't normally deal with this function here. Okay, 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 okay. The question is, why didn't it work? Oh, insert parameter. Okay. There we go. Okay, good to know. We're just going with how the other card worded it, so. There we go. That's just a little test there. How about we just make this a common spell? We'll make this a common creature that you can cast for cheap, and we'll give it a singular keyword. What's a good keyword for pink, you think? Okay. Gonna look through pink creatures. Pink creatures that are already there, we mean. Mm-hmm. Oh, we also had a card named Totems of Togetherness that we put into another like collection of sets. Which just it's a 2/5 for 3 generic mana with Defender, Lifelink, and instant and sorcery spells your team controls have assist. Assist being a normal a normal magic keyword uh for two-headed giant. Mm. Oh yeah, we made a card named Reduce the Caricature. Uh, it has it's a sorcery for 1 yellow that says exaggerate target creature an opponent controls up to 3 times until end of turn. To exaggerate a card, double or half a numeral on that card. If you have, round up. So you can't kill a creature with it. Hmm. There aren't enough pink creatures. Pink probably gets vigilance for guessing, at least. Or maybe not. Who knows? Well, we should. We could have it make a cake token on entry. And this creature and this creature enters, create a cake token. And we'll just copy off of Jolly Goodfellow. Copy and paste. This is Festive something or other. True. Let's have it be an act. Festive. What's the word? What's the word? What's the word of the day? Do, do. We'll have it be a robot clown. Because why not? And to picky, there's probably nothing wrong with it. Yeah, true. Oh, we forgot to put like little quotation marks around it. There we go. Destination. Destination acquired. Actually, no. No. How do we do the How do we do the accented end for pinata? Animate this will correct it for us. If the text is hitting something you don't want it to, you can adjust where the bottom is. Guess. With prejudice is funnier. Yeah. We should also probably make more attraction creatures. Like creatures that create attractions. Does this not have gifting? This does not have gifting as a keyword yet. We'll make this another creature. And this creature enters. And the food, we think. Cheese. What's the actual nickname Generous Chef? Creative. Oh, we put this in twice. I love the idea of attractions that could go in either deck. True. We think you were the one to make that land that was an attraction, right? When this creature enters an attraction, we'll have them open an attraction. If the gift... We'll make this an uncommon too, actually. Roll to visit your attractions. Yeah, this gets to be an uncommon. Whenever you roll one, create a food token. Actually, we'll have him make a cake token again. And we'll just copy this again, paste it in here. Ensure tax rate of food if an opponent gained life this turn. Eh. Maybe, but we do want to focus a bit more on attractions since we only have one or two in at the moment. Yes, you made the Ringmaster's tent. Yes, that's the name of the card. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Hey, don't cry. You want some cake? One, three. Let's be a 1-3. Ooh, that's better than what I was thinking. On a die, we should specify. Well, one on a die. It should be the numeral too. And we think we're gonna have them be a fairy. Let's see. How are chefs usually portrayed in magic? Oh, none. Skyfall. We're getting more into the groove of it. Of streaming, we mean. Chef. Okay. Darkside Chef, Citizen, Warlock, Druid. The squirming is how you know it's fresh. That's the flavor text on Darkside Chef. Don't cry. You want some cake? We'll have them be a fairy citizen. Now we think, Of it. You can do it in style. Ooh, style. Okay. Sorry, again, this takes a little while to load. Text floor, text floor. How about image style? Option specific to this card. Okay, okay. Damn it, are we really this lost? It's starting to get a little late. It's always midnight where we are. So some midnights are later than others. It's always midnight somewhere. It's at the top. So thank you. Top bottom. Gonna just put down -2, -20. Nope, +2, +2. 10. Let's see. Let's experiment a little bit. 5? Perfect. 5 is perfect. Thank Thank you very much, Pixel. Well, now we might want to take a little bit off the top, too. Okay. Give us a second. Okay. There we go. We think that's good. Yeah, looks good. And then we think we'll work on one last card for the night. We'll work on a little enchantment for yellow that cares about religious creatures. Because we put them on Reject the Sermon, sort of half expecting there to be like a tribal type since yellow and teal specifically, and probably pink as well, will have religious creature types. Orange definitely does with monks. Brown has very few of them. So let's just do a nice little enchantment. You control religious creatures you control. Just let's just indicate that this is alright. Let's just indicate that this is yellow. Yellow is represented by L for some reason. Well, we know the reason. Uncards made Y the semi-official. Like Y, hey mana symbol. semi-official. In addition to creatures you control gain don't think yellow get don't think yellow get thank you. We don't think yellow gets vigilance. Vigilance seems far too patient. While yellow is more gimme, 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 you know? We want to make it feel like things are a bit topsy turvy in terms of flavor. Like like it's a bit of an it's a bit of commentary on how the yellow faction sort of conflates its performers with its religious leaders, you know, because ultimately the old one, we believe the entity is called, is based on the king in yellow, and while there are many other deities in their faith, the old one is the main one, and being based on the king in yellow, god of the arts, often takes artists into the fray, so often there's a conflation between the two. Anything under the right circumstances, this just doesn't seem to fit those criteria. Yeah, fair enough. Anything to fit those criteria? Yeah, it doesn't feel like vigilance is proper here. Let's see. Instead of the provoke text, because again, provoke is gonna be a pretty common keyword in this set, we're gonna take a religious creature's text from Reject the Sermon. Hmm. Okay. We think the only problem. Hmm. We think the flavor here is that the more outwardly religious types These tend to attract the attention. The more outwardly religious types in the faction attracted the attention of their enemies and the people they want to distract, while the performers are the ones who actually manage to get her way into the people. You know, like it's a delicate little balance between the two. Hmm. The only problem is what? Something about distraction in the name? Pre- No, that's more the name of a sorcery and doesn't seem to fit flavorfully here. Though Priesthood Acquire is a good name for a card. Probably a card with madness, actually. Uh, hmm. Actually, how much in terms of this? How much in terms of exile effects does yellow get? Okay, okay. Sorry, just trying to think. This is our last card for the night, by the way. We're just a bit tired. Card that. Right, we know this because there's a card that had let creatures no hive. Yeah. And if you do, draw a card. And, and gain. What's energy again? We think it's E. Can't imagine what else it would be. Thank you. Mm-hmm.